Our story begins in 336 BC in the ancient kingdom of Macedon. Alexander, born in 356 BC to King Philip II and Queen Olympias, was tutored by the great philosopher Aristotle. This education gave Alexander a passion for knowledge and the vision of a world unified under one rule. But his path to greatness was paved by tragedy. At the age of 20, after the assassination of his father, King Philip, Alexander took the throne of Macedon. The weight of leadership fell on him, but he was not unprepared. His father's conquests had united Greece under Macedonian rule, and Alexander inherited a powerful, disciplined army. Despite being young, Alexander acted swiftly. To ensure Greece's loyalty, he first quelled revolts in Thebes. In a dramatic show of power, he destroyed the city of Thebes as a warning to others, sparing only temples and the house of the poet Pindar. This ruthless act cemented his control over Greece, and the city-states fell in line. With Greece secure, Alexander set his sights on an audacious plan: the invasion of the Persian Empire. In 334 BC, Alexander led his army across the Hellespont, the narrow strait separating Europe from Asia. With just 35,000 men, Alexander was outnumbered by the vast Persian forces, but his strategy, boldness, and leadership would soon make up for his smaller numbers. Upon reaching the Asian side, he famously threw a spear into the ground, symbolizing his claim over Asia. His first test came at the Battle of the Granicus River, where he achieved a decisive victory over the Persian satraps, opening the way to Asia Minor. Alexander's true test came in 333 BC at the Battle of Issus. Here, he faced the Persian king Darius III, whose army greatly outnumbered Alexander's forces. Yet Alexander's military genius shone through. He led a direct charge toward Darius, causing the Persian king to flee. With Darius on the run, Alexander secured a great victory. The final showdown between Alexander and Darius took place at the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BC. Despite being vastly outnumbered again, Alexander employed brilliant tactics, including a cavalry charge that broke through the Persian lines. Darius fled once more, sealing the fate of the Persian Empire. Alexander now controlled the heart of Persia, including its capitals, Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis. Before continuing his conquest of Persia, Alexander turned south to Egypt in 332 BC. Unlike other regions, Egypt welcomed him as a liberator from Persian rule. In Memphis, he was declared the son of the god Amun, and in a symbolic ceremony, Alexander was crowned pharaoh of Egypt. It was here that he founded the city of Alexandria, which would become one of the most important cultural centers of the ancient world. His time in Egypt solidified his divine status in the eyes of both the Egyptians and his own soldiers, further fueling his ambitions. After the fall of the Persian Empire, Alexander pushed eastward into India, determined to expand his empire further. In 326 BC, he crossed the Indus River and faced King Porus at the Battle of Hydaspes. Despite Porus having war elephants, Alexander emerged victorious once more, impressed by the bravery of the Unian king. He spared Porus's life and reinstated him as a satrap under his rule. Yet the relentless march took its toll. Alexander's men, weary from years of campaigning, refused to march further into the unknown lands beyond the Indus. Realizing he could push no further, Alexander turned back, taking his army through the harsh Gedrosian desert, where many soldiers perished. In 323 BC, having returned to Babylon, the great conqueror fell ill after a bout of heavy drinking. Within days, he was dead at the age of 32. His empire, the largest the ancient world had ever seen, stretched from Greece to India, but his early death left it without a clear successor. His generals, known as the Diadochi, would eventually divide the empire, but the legend of Alexander the Great endured. Alexander's military genius, vision of a united world, and ability to inspire loyalty left an indelible mark on history. He was a leader of unmatched ambition, whose campaigns changed the course of Western and Eastern civilizations. His empire may have fragmented after his death, but the cultural and political impact of his conquest created a lasting legacy. Alexander the Great remains one of the most iconic figures in history, a man who sought to bring together the known world, only to be cut down at the height of his power.